Thank you again, Governor.
Thank you, Neil.
Well, he gets elected. She holds the first press conference. He meets with his economic team. She's already meeting behind closed doors with the auto execs. He is expected to push for more stimulus when he meets with President Bush on Monday. She's already pushing for up to $100 billion in stimulus before that meeting even takes place. Are you noticing a pattern right here? Well, presidential historian Dr. Alan Lichtman is. Alan, what's going on here?
Well, you know, she's trying to upstage Barack Obama. It's a huge mistake. Congressional leaders during this time and early on in the administration should neither be seen nor heard. They have one role. Not bad, huh? They have one role and one role only. Pass the president's program. Do you even know who was Speaker of the House when Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the most successful Democratic Party president in history, was inaugurated?
It's a good point.
Nobody does.
But isn't she arguing,
you
know, in current day, she's the one with the long Washington experience. She's the most powerful figure on the Hill. Is she just feeling her oats, or do you, maybe it's just that they have compared notes, and maybe she did run this by him. You suspect she did not?
I suspect she did not, although I don't know that for certain, because I don't think Barack Obama wants this. You know, there was a lot of tension very publicly.
Well, I don't know, Alan, he sounded like he was certainly open to this. I don't know the degree of stimulus she's talking about, but he was open to stimulus, and sooner rather than later.
Well, he might be open to the program, but the leadership has got to come from him, not from 535 members of Congress or even the leaders within the Congress. You know, there was a lot of tension between Tip O'Neill and Jimmy Carter because Tip was a bit too public as well, and we know how poorly the Carter administration turned out. I would take the Roosevelt model and not the Carter model if I was Barack Obama.
That's interesting, Alan, because if you think about it, Jimmy Carter was our last phenom president. By that I mean totally out of the blue kind of a guy. And Tip O'Neill was the consummate Washington insider who probably didn't think too kindly to this guy out of the like a lightning bolt. How much of that could be playing into what would be the Democratic trifecta, where they control all the houses of government?
Oh, I think a lot of that is playing into it. I'm sure folks like Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid think, look, I've got the experience, Barack Obama doesn't. Maybe he will be another Jimmy Carter, a guy who takes years to fumble his way around the Capitol, but I would tell her two things, and Harry Reid as well. One, Barack Obama was elected on the message of change, just as FDR was in 1932. And two, your approval rating in the Democratic Congress is lower than that of George W. Bush's. That should tell you something.
That's interesting. But, Alan, I have a crackpot theory. You're the historical expert here. I'm an anchor who plays one on TV. So here's what I think could happen, that this could be very analogous to what Jimmy Carter encountered when he took office in 1977. A Congress of his own party that greeted him, but not with open arms.
Yeah, that's very possible, except I would say there are a number of differences. One, Barack Obama comes in with a vastly stronger mandate than Jimmy Carter.
Good point.
Jimmy Carter barely squeaked into office.
All right, so you got me on that one. What else?
Yeah. Number two, you have a kind of a new Democratic Congress. It's not the older Democratic Congress that Jimmy Carter inherited. And I think they are going to want to go home, and some of them are in pretty shaky districts, in the very tough midterms of 2010 with a big record of accomplishment. They're going to want a Roosevelt level of accomplishment, not a Carter level of accomplishment, and history shows there's only one way to get there, and that is let your president lead and you implement what he wants to do.
You are good, Alan. Thank you very much. Good seeing you again.
Take care. My pleasure.
All right, to Wall Street.